Welcome, my name is Kinga and I started to make YouTube videos right after my divorce last year to document for myself and my friends how I am reinventing myself. And well, it was also like a sort of therapy for me, you know, to get through all the grieving process and the all of a sudden finding myself alone kind of thing. And I mean, if you're not a friend but you found this video, well done, feel free to like it and subscribe. And in this video I want to talk about grieving and just losing people in general. So this is just a random recording. Normally I prepare for my videos, you know, I kind of write down my thoughts, otherwise otherwise I might make too many mistakes with my English. Or also I can end up losing my initial thoughts and I just end up talking about lots of other things. So I like to sort of, you know, sit down, make a draft, and then talk about stuff. I didn't really have the time. And also, if you've been following me, you know that I haven't actually made any video in the past couple of weeks. The reason is I took up another job, an extra job, which means I have to get up at 3 o'clock every morning, and then I'm leaving home around 4 o'clock, and then I finish the first job that I have around 10, then I go and sleep in the back of my car in a car park for about 30 minutes, and then I start my other job from 11. So it's a pretty hectic day, and after, you know, when I get home like 3-4 o'clock, I'm just like brain dead. And honestly, the last thing that was on my mind was to make YouTube videos. But I was thinking that maybe YouTube algorithm is not going to favor me, is not going to like me if I keep skipping weeks and weeks. So here I am. Just another interesting fact, I turned 40 last week, which also kind of came with a bit of a grieving for me, grieving my youth. I actually have a trick for you if you're so scared of, you know, big numbers when it comes to your age. Maybe try what I've been doing. Like after I turned 35, I started to tell everyone that I'm 40. So every time someone asked my age, even though I was 36, 37, 38, I just said I'm 40, which shocked everyone because I obviously didn't look 40. Probably I still don't look 40. And it generated lots of compliments, which was very nice. And also it kind of made me get used to saying that I'm 40. So by the time I really turned 40, it wasn't a shock. Although a couple of days before my birthday, I was having a, you know, like, I wouldn't say a mental breakdown because that would be too strong to put it that way, but it was more like I had a couple of emotional days because yeah, there was just a lot of things happening that made me feel like I'm 40, I don't have anyone, I'm single, I don't even have a dog or a cat or a kid or a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, like nothing. And it just, you know, just this general overall lonely feeling that came all over me was just kind of overwhelming. And yeah, so basically I did cry for a couple of days, but good news, I turned 40, nothing changed, I'm still feeling young, and I'm okay. So it's something that you can also survive. I don't know how old you are, maybe you can comment it in the comment section. I would love to know which was the scariest age for you to approach. So I promise that in this video I'm going to talk about losing people and grieving. I spoke to some friends of mine who, you know, like older guys, you know, in their 50s even, who lost their parents quite late. So they are pretty lucky in that sense. And this friend of mine told me how much he's missing his mom. And then it reminded me of the fact that I also lost my dad when I was 18, and it was really hardcore at, you know, as an 18-year-old, also because I actually had to watch the whole process of my dad dying in front of me. And it was pretty emotional, and it still is, and it will always be, probably. And I remember I couldn't sleep for 6 months after that. And even after that, I couldn't really process the fact that he was gone. And I remember maybe even 6 months after he died, I still called him on his phone, on his mobile. And I remember when it went to answer phone and it was his voice, that's when everything just clicked. And that was the first time I truly understood that he was gone. And I was trying to give my thoughts to this friend of mine about how I processed the whole thing and how I'm doing pretty okay with the fact that I lost my dad. I mean, I wasn't even raised by him, with him, because I was about 2-3 years old when my parents got divorced, and I only got to see my dad every second week for the weekend. So, I mean, we were close as a father and daughter could be close, but it was, not like physically close, as we only got to see each other every second week. So, but yet, how I actually got through it, I mean, first of all, it was a huge relief for me when he died. I know it sounds awkward to say it, but because it was because he's been suffering. He had been suffering for about a year. He had cancer and all this stuff. So he went through a lot of shit before he actually passed away. So I think by then it was more like a relief for everyone, and probably himself as well, to get rid of the pain and stuff and just transition. And then something interesting happened after. It's like I felt this, not just a relief, but this calm feeling inside me. I remember I was actually feeling happiness inside me on his funeral. I remember people didn't understand, and a lot of people were seeking comfort with me, and and they didn't understand how I can comfort them and how I'm not depressed or sad. I wasn't feeling sadness. I felt this calmness and this light. I don't know, it's really hard to describe, especially in English for me, so, but I hope you get the picture. And it was because his sufferings have ended, but I also believe that he was kind of with me from that moment in a different way. And so this is what I was trying to tell my friend as well, who is terribly missing his mom at times, that I think your relationship can actually become stronger after someone dies. Because what I felt, that, while my dad was still living, his presence was kind of limited, right? He could only be where he was. But after he died, I felt like I could take him with me anywhere, anytime. So I remember not long after I moved to London. Originally, I'm from Hungary, and so I moved to London. I was like 19 years old. And I felt his presence with me, and ever since then, I felt like I could always talk to him anytime, anywhere, And that gave me a huge comfort, and his role in my life, his presence kind of changed to the better, I always felt him around, and every time I called him or every time I included him in my prayers, I always felt his, this strength, like sort of backing me up, sort of, like even physically I felt, his support. So this is what I was telling my friend, that, you probably want to make sure that you believe that what you see right now is not who you are. There's more to you. There's more to every human being. We are just, a part of us is in this physical human experience, but we are bigger than this. And when our physical body deteriorates and, we die, it doesn't mean that it's the end of everything or anything. It's more like we just transition back into non-physical, and a part of us actually doesn't even change. It's how it's always been and how it's always going to be, and that's the part of us that we need to think of when we think of that person who we lost, and that kind of helps us, And yeah, I think that's my trick with people who have been close to me and who I lost. I just, in my head, I change their position, and instead of trying to miss their physical presence and being, I was thinking of them as a person, their spirit, their soul, their energy, their vibe, their whatever, and I felt like I could always call them, talk to them, take them with me anywhere, and in that way, it was more bearable, And I mean, come on, it only happened maybe 2 weeks ago. I got a very sad news on Facebook that one of our old classmates have passed away, and no one actually knew that he was, or he has been suffering with depression. And it was really shocking. I think he is actually the first person that we lost from that class. And I was thinking, why was it painful? Why was it hurting us? There was a lot of emotional thing about it. I mean, for me as well, it was pretty weird feeling that his funeral was actually on my 40th birthday. I think for a lot of us, it was kind of reminding us that life is fragile, and, you know, the next person could be us or our loved ones. And now, from now on, it's going to be pretty common probably that every year we lose someone from that class. And probably that was the saddest part, you know. And also the fact that it shocked us that none of us actually knew that he was suffering with depression and he took his own life. And that was just, we imagined that to get to that point, you must go through a lot of pain. I myself have experienced that. I know I've been pretty close to that, you know, like wanting to help myself transition, sort of. So I can relate to that. But I think it's pretty shocking and painful to your surrounding or whoever is left behind. It can also make them feel a bit guilty, like, oh, why didn't I see that? Why didn't I know? Why was I not there? Why was I not able to help? And I think that's most of the pain. And it was very interesting the other day, an Abraham Hicks talk, like a recording from one of their workshop, showed up on my YouTube. And in that video, Abraham says that the reason why it's hard to lose someone is because you are, or the reason why you're actually missing people, you know, who die or who you lose, is because you are looking for them where they are not. And Abraham Hicks always approaches any kind of negative feeling from a point of view that it's just basically the negative feeling, or anytime when something feels off, it only means that what you're thinking is not in alignment, is not in sync with reality, or it's not in sync with how your higher being, this energy part of you, is actually looking at it or is observing it. Which means that basically what you think to be true is actually not true. And there's, because of that discord or disconnection or whatever, is why it feels off and why it generates negative feelings in you. So it's just more like it's an emotional compass to you, that to know that you are not thinking the way that it really is. And I think this is very comforting as well. To know that the reason why we truly miss someone who we lose is because we are looking for them at places where that person is not, right? So we are looking for that person in our physical surrounding, and they are not there. So obviously we're going to experience this huge void, this emptiness. But why do we look at that when we actually know that there's more to it? There's more to our existence. So if we switched our point of view, I don't know how to say it. So if we just switched our way of looking at the situation, and instead of trying to look for that person where they are not, we should actually find them in their new existence, you know? Just like how I did it with my dad. Instead of crying over the fact that I will never be able to hold his hand again or go to the movies with him, I started to feel and think that that can be there with me anytime, anywhere. I won't be able to physically touch him, but he's in my memories, he's in my heart, I can feel him in a different way, I can talk to him in a different way, I can walk with him in a different way. And this is also very important in my life right now with this experience, because I got divorced last year. That's when I started to make these videos, just to help myself through the whole process. And I don't think I truly... Okay, I had to go through a grieving process, right? And this is something very interesting. if you have been through divorce, you know this. For me, it was my first divorce. And to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting it. I thought, I was pretty confident about making this decision. We got divorced, I moved out and everything. And then it hit me. And I had a very, very hard time after that for a couple of months, or maybe even half a year. It was a lot of struggle. I couldn't sleep. I wanted to die many times. I couldn't really find myself. It was really hard, truly emotional, very hard. Something I wasn't ready for. Maybe you cannot get ready for anyway. I don't know, but I wasn't expecting that. No matter how strong you are about making this decision or how convinced you are, you still have to go through grieving. So I did, and that was pretty difficult. But after that, our relationship has always been pretty good with my ex-husband. We've always been like very close to each other, best friends. The reason why we decided that it's better to get divorced and go separate ways is because we were not loving each other romantically. We were loving each other more like as siblings, or something maybe even stronger than that. We were pretty close. We still are. And we just wanted to give each other the freedom to be able to find that person who is going to, give that other kind of experience or feeling to our existence. Like, I wanted him to find that woman who's going to make him feel like a man, and, and I should go and find that man who's going to make me feel like a woman, and have that sexual chemistry and all that stuff, which we never really had. So it's interesting that after we went through this grieving and, and all the anger and everything we went through, and just, and I think our relationship even got stronger. I think, because there are no expectations, there are no, when you're in a relationship, you have expectations. Sometimes you can be cranky, you can get disappointed, you can just project a lot of negative feelings onto your partner. Maybe sometimes they don't even have anything to do with it, but it's like, it's always the person who's closest to you that gets the most shit, right? But now we don't have that. Now we have this healthy distance, which actually helped us deepen our relationship and our bond and our love for each other. It's a very interesting relationship, and I don't know if you understand it. I know a lot of people actually don't. A lot of people look at us weird, like, how come we still hang out a lot? How come we like each other so much? How come we are still so present in each other's lives, although we are divorced? And yeah, that's how we do it, and I'm very happy. And my marriage was really great, and the divorce was very swift, smooth, respectful, nice. And our relationship ever since is also something really beautiful and something I'm really grateful for. And not long before my 40th, I almost said 30th, my 40th birthday, he came with pretty bad news that, not bad, but he came with a shocking news that he is moving back home to Hungary. He got a job there, he's got stuff to sort out there, like family stuff and, whatnot. He's not moving there for good, but, just for a couple of months. I mean, originally he's just going for stuff to sort out in his family, and then he just got some work as well, some work to do just to, help him financially to be able to exist there for 3-4 months. But basically, he moved, and when I found out that information, it just, I started to think of, hey, last winter was so harsh for me, so hard, not being able to see the sun for a couple of months in Sweden, and then being alone, and just everything just came on me, and it was pretty, pretty difficult. And at least he was here, close to me. Even though I moved out, I didn't move too far from him. So we never really completely separated. We still, had some connection physically as well. Not sexually, but physically. And this was really scary to me, because I was like, he's my only family. Even though we are divorced, we love each other dearly, and he's my only family. And he's the first person I call if I need help, or, or whatever happens. He's the first person I call, and hopefully I'm the same for him. So we're still family, and we're still there for each other. And then just thinking, imagining my next winter, which I'm already kind of dreading, and knowing that even him, I mean, like he's not gonna be around. It's just so scary. It just makes everything feel so daunting and just so not looking forward to it. And yeah, we had a couple of days of, you know, thinking of this, talking about it, getting emotional over it. It felt like a part of me is taken away, or like I'm losing my twin brother. That's what it felt like. He actually moved away last week. And I just wanted to make this video, and I just wanted to say it, even though I'm crying now, but I wanted to say that, you know what? I'm actually doing okay. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, maybe it's just only 1 week has passed and we speak every day. But still, I'm okay. I mean, thanks to technology, we can talk, we can video chat, we can be in constant communication. It's like, honestly, thanks to technology, it helps a lot. Communication is just very important. So I was thinking that with him as well, I shouldn't be focusing on concentrating on, looking for him physically here in Sweden where he's not, because then I'm gonna think or feel this void, and there's going to be this this huge gap between what the reality is and what my memory or my wish or my desire is for him to be here, and then he's not here, right? There's a huge distance or gap between the two things. And I was like, so instead of concentrating on that and kind of, looking for him or missing him, so instead of thinking of missing him and thinking of his absence, why don't I recalibrate and rethink his position and put him in a different box? And that's what I did. And now he's he's still that dear beloved person in my life. He's still one of the most important person in my life. It just physically is not present, but it doesn't mean that our communication dies, or it doesn't mean that he can't be there, or it doesn't mean that our connection is going to die off. So I just had to reposition the whole thing. I just had to recalibrate, redefine his presence. And it was just a change, not a loss. So even though I was grieving a little bit, but then I just, let the whole thing transition, find its place, create a new way of existing for him in my reality or in my mind and in my heart. And I'm good. Hopefully I will be good throughout the winter as well. We'll see. I just wanted to make this quick video, and hope you liked it. Hope it helped you somehow maybe, or it inspired some thoughts in you. And I would love to hear from you, so you can comment down there just below the video. And also feel free to like it, share it, subscribe to my channel. I hope to keep in touch. I promise I will, do my best to make a video once a week, but it's very difficult. But I do my best. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.